Hey guys, this is Paul of Enclosures here, working on a project that I'm pretty excited about. I'm going to be attempting to make my first true bottle garden. I did make the small one, but this one is a little bit more akin to, what's that guy's name? An old guy. He was a retired electrical engineer, and he created a bottle garden with some spider warts and a handful of compost. So that's what I'm trying to recreate myself. Basically, how this works is there won't be any creatures. No, instead of spider wart, by the way, I'm going to be using wandering Jew. The way this works is that there aren't going to be any surviving creatures, which is why I was very careful when I took this compost. I use Vemi compost, which is pretty much my own blend of life, so to speak. For anyone who doesn't know, Vemi compost is made from worm droppings. And it started from a handful of organic potting soil that was donated to me from a friend. And after that, it's just been me adding table scraps to my Vemi composter, which is I keep in the corner of my room. The majority of all this is coffee grounds, eggshells, leaves, and why do I always forget one? And a banana. That's what my blend of compost is made out of. So after it goes through the digestive system of the worm, it makes it a lot easier for the plants to take nutrients. So that's what I'm going to be using for the basis of this bottle garden. I'm not even sure how much use I'm going to get out of this. Probably it's going to be more for the dirt than the stones. Most of these stones I feel like aren't even going to fall through. And as much as I feel like this is just going to be taking up unnecessary space, as this wandering Jew is a water plant, so it's not like it's really going to drown, but I feel like it's just right to create a gravel layer. That should be enough of a gravel layer. It doesn't need to be very high at all, honestly. I could just shape it a little bit, get it flatter. Now, really quick, I'm going to cut out a cover for this. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be either. As I said, wandering Jew is a water plant, so it's not like I really have to worry about it getting root rot or anything like that. Do my best to spread this, pack it into the corners. The reason I went with this as opposed to any sort of metal mesh is because it's going to be in here a very long time and the metal's going to rust up, and I don't want it to poison any of the bacteria that I'm going to be relying on to keep this system working. Because there's no animals and I won't have any carbon dioxide coming from respiration, at least from animals. What I am going to have is CO2 being released from decomposition, from the soil and from any plant matter that I stick in here. Now I'm going to add the soil layer, which this should at least go down. Oh, of course not. Okay. So I actually think that's going to be enough compost. I'll just put this back or save it for another project. Now, as for actually rooting this into the ground, not going to be 100% super necessary, because the reason I chose this piece was because of how many roots there are all over the place. I took this one out of my Violet Arrow Paludarium when I was doing some trimming. And it's kind of a bigger piece than I originally planned on using, but it's okay. So now, just trying to get it inside. I doubt you guys can hear it, but I hear frogs outside. That's pretty nice. Push it down as far as I can to the bottom. Try and push as many roots as I can into the soil. It's not going to take long for this plant to explode. If there's one thing that Wandering Jew is good at, it's resource mongering. And I'll explain again how this is going to work without animals while I'm at it, because it's really fascinating. Instead of relying on animal respiration, this little ecosystem is instead going to rely on bacterial breakdown to generate the CO2 that the plants need to grow. Which is so cool to me. Animals are almost redundant. Bacteria really does own the world. It's more of it than anything else, including insects on the planet. There's probably more bacteria in my body than there are insects on the planet. Isn't that incredible? I'm such a happening place. That should be enough. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to have to open this up again anytime soon, but I want to make sure that everything is set up properly before I decide to completely close this off forever. And I did my best to take all the worms out. These shouldn't be that hard of a product to sell. Assuming I was to try and sell one of these through the mail, I just have to give explicit orders not to turn it upside down and, of course, fragile. In terms of keeping these, it's extremely important to make sure that this thing is not in direct sunlight, or you'll cook everything on the inside and then the entire bottle will be useless. So, what is it, south or east? Or is it in the east? Whatever part of your house gets the least amount of sun, like morning sun, that's where you're going to want to position this thing. Unless you're like me and you don't trust natural sunlight at all. And instead, you just use artificial lights for basically everything. Not the most cost-effective thing in the world to do, but I'd much rather know that there wasn't going to be some sort of, I don't know, unusually bright and sunny day and then my plants or my creatures cooking. So just for my peace of mind, I always use artificial light for my plants. And here we go. That's basically the setup. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't work. I should give you guys a close-up. There we go. Gravel layer and soil level and plant. And as I said before, anyone who knows Wandering Jew knows how rampant this stuff grows. The electrician, as I said, used spiderwort, but there are many other types of plants that you can use, and I want to attempt this one. If I need to change it later, I can do that. And until then, it's just an experiment. I'm going to keep an eye on this, and if it permits, I'll try to never open this back up and see what happens. Really excited to see how this is going to be in a year or so, assuming that I don't have to open it back up. But I'll be giving continuous updates on this one in particular, and show you the rate of growth, which I'm pretty sure is going to be astronomical. And once I get around to selling these, I'll be updating you guys on how you can purchase them and where you can purchase them. But just want to thank you guys for watching. It really means a lot to me that for anyone who watches my videos on a regular basis. Sometimes I feel like not a lot of people watch, but hopefully that changes sometime in the future. I'm not going to let it dictate me in terms of stopping making videos, because I'm not going to stop making videos. I partially make videos for myself to keep myself motivated and to have deadlines, and deadlines are very important to me. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will update you on how you can get one of these yourself soon enough. You have a great day, guys. Bye.